Russia is grappling with a surge in food prices, exacerbating economic pressures on its citizens while the government remains steadfast in its military priorities. Essential items like butter and potatoes have seen sharp price hikes, with butter alone rising by over 30% since late 2023. The Kremlin's economic policies, intensified by the ongoing war in Ukraine, are under scrutiny as inflation strains household budgets and questions about government accountability grow. The war in Ukraine has reshaped Russia's economy, prioritizing defense spending over consumer goods. Sanctions from Western nations have disrupted imports, driving up the costs of staples like dairy, sunflower oil, and vegetables. Supply chain issues and labor shortages further worsened the situation, while Russia's transition to a war economy has diverted resources from agriculture. Despite raising interest rates to 21%, the highest in 2 decades, the central bank has struggled to rein in inflation, with food prices outpacing other sectors. Meanwhile, propaganda frames the crisis as a result of foreign interference, shielding the Kremlin from direct criticism. Public discontent simmers, but open criticism remains dangerous under Russia's restrictive laws. Many Russians silently link rising prices to the war, while others accept the government's narrative, blaming unfriendly nations. In rural areas and smaller towns, where incomes are lower, the impact is particularly harsh. Consumers are adjusting by purchasing cheaper, lower-quality products and cutting back on non-essential spending. Social media reflects frustration, but widespread protest remains unlikely as fear of government retribution suppresses dissent. The economic strain on Russian households is unlikely to subside soon. The government has introduced limited measures to stabilize food prices, such as removing import duties and promising support for agricultural production. However, these steps seem insufficient against the broader backdrop of inflation and war economic priorities. For now, the Kremlin appears to maintain control over public perception through propaganda, but continued economic hardship could test its resilience. Internationally, Russia's economic challenges offer both a warning and a window for strategic pressure, as sanctions and domestic unrest could gradually weaken its capacity to sustain prolonged conflict. While the Russian government claims to balance military ambitions with public welfare, its ability to maintain this narrative in the face of mounting economic challenges remains uncertain.